Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. So we are continuing with the Levite blood rites, right? The blood rite of Alawi, right? So we're continuing with the Levite blood rite. And
We left off at 20. We're going to start verse 22 of chapter 4.
chapter 4, verse 22. At what time the ruler of this people shall have sinned and done against any of the commandments of Yah, his Allah, that which ought not to have been done, and he have sinned through ignorance. Now, this is any ruler. So this is any chief. This is any prince, any head of a community or tribe. You make a mistake that you didn't know any better. And now it comes out, and now we have to atone for it. You have to fix the mistake, you rectify the sin, and then you have to make this offering.
Yes.
Okay? If the sin he has sinned be made known to him. So now again, this is a sin he doesn't know about.
Right.
Now he finds out that he's wrong. And he feels the guilt and guilty. You don't go justifying yourself. Well, because no. Well, he wasn't supposed to do that? Oh, snap, I did that. Yo, so how we fix it?
Yes.
Different. You have shame, you have guilt. He shall bring for his oblation a kid of the goats, a male unblemished. So now we have to have 200 goats.
Yes.
Right? And this is for a ruler of his people.
Yes.
Right? So for me, now we have to have 400 cows to give two, and 200 goats to give one for me.
Right.
Right? Then you take that 200 goats, you have to multiply it by 12 for each of the other rulers of those tribes.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I see it.
And then for each of the other princes of the tribes, for the captains of 10 and the captains of 50 and the captains of 100 and the captains of 1,000 and the captains of 10,000 and the captains of the myriad.
Yes. No other way. No other way.
So now each of those captains, for each of those groups, for each of those tribes, for each of those numbers, there has to be a kid of the goats for each of them.
Wow. That's a lot of goats.
It's a lot of goats. Now each one has to have 200 just for one to be sacrificed for the atonement. So before we get to atoning with the blood of animals, we have to have the land and the food to feed these animals. You need the food, the water, and the shelter for the animals and yourself. There has to be a system to care for these things.
Yes.
And don't talk to me about money, because in truth, without money, you can do it. If you buy land that have water on it, you can use this water to feed the animals, give them something to drink, and yourself. You can use this water and you can water your fields and grow your crops. So you just need food, land, and water. You can start off with the seeds from the fruit you already eat.
Yes. Yes.
You can get the seeds cheap. So you may need money for the transition, for the initial investment, but the plants grow back every year.
Right.
You don't have to pluck up a whole field by the roots to harvest it. You only take the part you need to eat. The plant can grow back.
There is no shortcut.
So you have to invest the money that you have now to start. If you don't have any commodity now, you don't have no land, you don't have nothing, you're not going to be able to get it by yourself. So
Right.
we can get it as a community. Okay, we have community housing. All right. So if we buy 5 acres of land and we build one community house on 5 acres, right? The community house can take up 1 acre. And then the other 4 acres, you can begin to have some type of crop. One
Right.
field of olives, one field of wheat, and one field for livestock.
Right.
Okay? You can start. This, you can begin to sell, buy and sell, and conduct business because people going to eat meat. Now, we ain't going to put all our meat in there. You're going to support it. You're going to just take some, and that money from that 1 and 2 that you put up for time to time goes back into a savings because you're going to buy another building,
Yes.
more land,
Yes.
right? If you have 10 of these, you got 50 acres, right? Now you change something. You make one just have olive trees,
Right.
one just have wheat,
Right.
one just have sheep. And you might replicate the process for some other things. This is the process. So
Yes.
now this is for the goats. So you have a male and blemish, and he, right, the ruler of his people, this includes me, shall lay his right hand firmly upon the head of the goat, and the slayer shall kill him at the place of the sacrifice of the burnt offering before Yah. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering upon his finger, right? And put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt sacrifice, and shall pour out the blood at the foundation of the altar of burnt sacrifice, at the foundation.
Station. Yes. Yes.
Right? Not pour it on the side.
No.
Dig a hole and pour it and bury it. Finished.
Correct.
Okay? And all the fat shall be burnt at the altar as the fat of the sacrifice of the sanctified oblation. So it's at the back. So all the fat goes to the same spot. This is a meticulous routine.
Yes.
And it's conducted the same way continually.
Yes.
As was the fat of the sanctified oblation, and the priest shall atone for him on account of his sin, and it shall be forgiven him.
The priest does the atoning.
So you have to atone for the priest first, then atone for the nation, then atone for the leaders, because they didn't know. You don't know.
Yes. So there's no shortcut.
No.
It's written out plain and simple how this is to be done. Plain and simple. Anything outside of this is foolishness. This is the only way. Only way.
And if a man of the people, now we down to regular people. See, it went all the way down, all the captains, all the leaders, all the judges, all the princes, all the people working in the administration, now regular people.
Yes.
If a man of the people of the land shall sin through ignorance in doing against any one of the commandments of Yah, what was not right to do, and he has sinned, if his sin, he have sinned, be made known to him. So now you may be doing something and you think this regular, this commonplace, this normal. Now it's made known to you, like I'm making it known to you today, that this not normal, you wrong, this is a sin. Right? He shall bring for his oblation an unblemished female of the goats for the sin that he hath sinned.
So for The leaders, it was all male.
Right.
For the regular people,
It is
was
females.
female, which represent the children, the mother, the children.
Your subject.
Your subject.
So there's fewer males, right? So if you put one male, you could put one male with a bunch of females, and he just go around getting all of them pregnant. Okay? One male can create generations because they give birth twice a year. So one male can create multiple generations with females, right? What happens is now you have to separate and you have to bring in a different male for the new generations because you don't want the father creating a degenerate generation mating with the daughters and stuff like that.
Correct.
So you bring in a new male and you swap. This male goes over here, this male goes over there. And now you create another whole cycle. So the males are rare.
Right.
They are highly prized. They are more expensive than the females because you can take a bunch of females and you give birth to more females than males. So there's not a lot of males coming out, all the time. Okay? So, and he shall lay his right hand on the head of the sin offering and kill the sin offering at the place of the burnt sacrifice, and the priest shall take of the blood with his finger and put it on the horns of the altar of burnt sacrifice and pour out all the blood at the foundation of the altar. And he shall remove all her fat as the fat of the consecrated sacrifices was taken off, and the priest shall burn it at the altar to be received with acceptance before Yah, and all the priests shall atone for him, and he shall be forgiven. Okay? So this is the same thing for the prince as for the regular man. Only right? Only thing that changed was the gender. Now this is what it looks like in perfection.
Imperfection.
Now there's what it looks like when it's not perfect. Okay, you say, well, what if, I know, everybody got a what if. We're going to come to that.
Okay.
So, but if he bring a lamb as his offering for sin, he shall bring a female unblemished, and lay his right hand on the head of the sin offering and kill it as an oblation for sin at the place of burnt sacrifice. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering and put it on the horns of the altar of burnt sacrifice, and all the blood at the foundation of the altar, and all the fat he shall remove as the fat of the lamb of the sanctified victims was removed, and the priest shall burn it at the altar with the oblations of Yah. And the priest shall make atonement for him on account of the sin that he has sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. Right? Now, notice when it says, and it shall be forgiven him, I want you to understand this. Not only does the Most High forgive, right? But nobody's allowed to bring this up against him. So every time he says, and it shall be forgiven him, this is a decree. In all the land and with all the people, he didn't know, he made a mistake, he corrected the mistake, he restored, and he made his atonement. You cannot fault him anymore. You cannot bring this up against him. He can only bring it against himself if he committed again. So nobody can hold anything against him. It's forgiven. That's it. So now you have the opportunity to build this, to restore this, and it be forgiven you, and your sins don't be remembered no more. Period. Meaning, not only is it forgiven you, but the curse is ended.
So, to make it very, very clear, because this is, I believe, is the only way we're going to understand the state that we're in as a people. Our sins at this time is not forgiven because we haven't done this. We haven't been able to do this. So we're in a pretty bad shape as a nation of people. And we need to be ashamed of where we are because we deserve death. And if you don't want to come and build this and reestablish this, then yeah, you deserve to die. Yeah, you deserve to die. Yeah, you deserve to die. Because this is the only way. There's no other way. This is the only way.
Okay, this is about to get, this is where it gets, you've heard, this is direct, right? Now I've told you, it's made known to you, right? Now, this is for the this first part was just for the person who themselves have committed the act. Now we're going to get deep. This is going to get deep. Now you say, how does this get deep? We're going to read, and I'm going to show you how this gets really deep. When a man shall have sinned and heard the voice of the oath of execration. Now, you don't know what that word means. It means has heard the voice of someone making an unlawful oath. Right? Or have been himself a witness. Or, so not only did you hear an unlawful oath, you heard an unlawful oath, which is like coming forward to be saved. Right? Or any agreement upon which is interest to your neighbor, to your brother, right? Any unlawful oath, every law in this book, if you heard anybody making any agreement against this law, that's the oath of execration. And anyone who's witnessed that, seen somebody else do it. So now, here's the deep part. I'm telling you who I am, that I am the prince. And I'm telling my people to follow this law. Now, if you hear this message and see this video, and you see my people, the children of Israel, the black people, right? You see them in America and throughout Europe and throughout anywhere. And you see them and they have poor interest rates and they own no land and they have no poverty and they're not abiding under my rule and under my law. You guilty with them. Right? Or shall have seen that Q of the world has transgressed against the words of an oath. So if you have seen the sign that the whole world has transgressed against this law in making oaths and agreement against it, or shall has known that his companion has sworn or imprecated or suggested vainly, if he show it not, he shall bear his sins. So if you know about all of these wrongness and you've seen it and you've heard it, right? So you don't speak up against the abomination of homosexuality, if you don't speak up against the Jews, if you don't speak up against these foreign governments keeping my people hostage, if you don't speak up against all of the wrongs being done to my people around the world and that they are not coming to follow under my rule, my law, which I'm speaking to them from their God, you are guilty.
And seeing us in idolatry worship, you're guilty.
Oh, it gets better. Or if any man touch anything unclean,
Oh my goodness.
whether the carcasses of unclean beasts, that's shrimps, that's my people, if my people are touching and eating shrimps,
Crabs.
crabs, lobsters, pork, and if you are manufacturing it and feeding it to them, milk and cheese, any dairy and cheese with meat,
Hamburgers,
cheeseburgers,
cheeseburgers, pizza with
pizza with
pepperoni.
some sausages. If you are doing this to any of my people, you're guilty. So that's any unclean, whether the carcass of unclean beast or unclean cattle, your old 3-week-old beef, you killed it weeks ago and froze it, not clean. Or the carcasses of unclean reptiles, you feeding them
Alligator. Oh my goodness.
human meats and all of this stuff. You feeding this to my people, they're not allowed to have it. And you're not allowed to serve it to them. So they think that I'm a joke right now, right?
Amen.
So here's the difference. I don't have to summon my God. I don't. You see, I only have to do one thing. I just have to tell you what the rules are, then tell you what my God says for his people to do. And only thing you have to do is allow my people to continue doing what they're doing with you. And my God will come to destroy them and you with them. Now you want to test me. Go ahead. You know what? This is going to be a great and fantastic time. You're going to see this. Then you will recall this video and you will say at a later time, at a later date, this man told us the truth. Right? Any unclean reptile, and it be hidden from him, and he being unclean shall touch any consecrated thing, he is guilty. So now, I want you to hear this. All of the holy and consecrated things that are in the possession of you Western and European nations, return them immediately. You are guilty, being unclean, because now one of the sons has found the law and has recited it openly to the people so that you know that it is wrong for you to have. So bring back all the gold you took from Solomon's temple. And you, the Jews, that have any of our things, our scrolls, our books, our gold, return it. You can label this video anti-Semite. It doesn't matter. You know I know my law. You know I am speaking the truth, and you know the wrath of my God will come for you yet again. And this time, you will be utterly wiped out. And your lands and nations will be left uninhabitable. You want to play with God? Because guess what? Everybody says, oh, I should go killing. No, I'm not killing. I'm going to sit here in my house. And I'm going to watch it on the news.
Yes.
Because my God is real. He's more real than all of your idols.
Yep.
He's more real than all of your angels. You think you got into this bad situation for no reason? It's getting worse. I'm telling you now, you guilty. Bring back to me my face, everything. Okay, I'll be right back after this. I'm coming back.
He's guilty.
Okay, I'm back. Right? He is guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of a man, even whatever uncleanness that defiles him, and it be hidden from him, and he touch anything consecrated, after that it is discovered by him, he shall know it that he is defiled and not clean, he shall be guilty. So if you touch anything, if you touch an unclean woman, the dead bodies or anything of the unclean, and you touching consecrated things, this is you. You wrong. I'm talking to you directly. You, and anyone else affiliated with you that I don't know to name, I'm talking to you. You are guilty now, because I'm telling you wrong, and I'm telling you to bring it back, because it doesn't belong to you. Neither shall you hold it without punishment of guilt from Allah anymore. Or if a man shall swear to make declaration with his lips to do evil or good upon any matter upon which a man may affirm, whether of the present or the future, that he can make declaration by oath, and he falsify, he lies therein, and it be hidden for him, but afterward it be discovered to him, and he know that he has lied, falsified, and he repent not, though he hath become guilty in any one of these. So if you know of agreements and you have not kept it, now I know you know in 2016, the UN court decided that the US was guilty and owed billions of dollars in reparation, but they never paid. I don't want your paper money. Bring me the gold. I want the gold. I'm telling you now, you already lost your battle in court. I am the ruler of these people. Now you know this agreement and all other agreements, right? You owe me 40 acres and a mule, right? Get your people off of this land of Israel. Give it back. This mine, all of this belongs to me and to my people. But you want to test my God. I know you will. You won't believe me. I know you won't. But you're guilty. So all of your agreements, now, present, and future, that you have ever made, that you have broken each and every one, you are guilty. If he shall have thus sinned in any one of these four things, but afterwards repent. Now to repent, you must restore it back to its original place.
Yes, return it.
Give it back.
Teshuva.
You must give it all back and put extra on top to make good. So you have to bring back my people. You took them from the coast of Africa after you drove them out of this land. You have to put them back here under my rule. You have to give me back all of the wealth of all that you took. Not only from here and the other nations that we made for you. Give it back. Right? So you have to afterwards repent. You have to give it back. Right? And then you have to make confession of the sin which you made. So when you bring it back, you're going to confess of the sin you made. And he shall bring the oblation, right? Now you're going to bring the sheep, the lambs, the rams, for all of the people that are congruent with you. All of the good things, all the goods. You're going to bring that back. For his trespass offering to the presence of Yahweh for the sin that he hath sinned, a female lamb of the flock, or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering, and the priest shall atone for him that he may be absolved from his sin.
Whew.
That's all of you. All of you. It's time to walk now in the true Islam. You will do it because it's not on the merit of anything that I have to do, because I'm already doing it. I am telling you. I have nothing else to do now. You will taste the wrath of Allah. He himself will deliver it to you personally. I just had to warn you. I am giving you full understanding. See, if I read it, you say, we have not read this. We do not yet have the understanding. Now I'm giving it to you. Not even my first time reading it.
No.
You see, I read it years ago. I've been reading this for a long time. I just kept reading and reading and reading and reading. If you didn't take the time out to hear me when I was reading, to go look it up and study, voila, now you will taste the wrath. You will taste this. You will taste it. Now, we're going to talk about, now that if you bring it back and it be atoned for you, you'll be able to live, you will serve, you will work. But, we're going to wait and see because they think I'm crazy, but it's all right.
Yes.
But if his hand, so now we're going to talk about poor people, okay? We're going to understand what happens. I'm a prince, I'm a son of Israel, and I don't have, I'm a this and I don't have. Okay. If his hand finds not the sufficiency to bring a lamb, let him bring as an offering for the trespass that he has committed 2 large turtle doves. Did you see that? So you can't afford sheep. You don't have enough for sheep. Bring me 2 turtle doves or 2 young pigeons. Don't bring me no old birds. Bring me 2 young pigeons before Yah. One for a sin offering and one for a burnt sacrifice. Okay? And he shall bring them to the priest, who shall offer that which he may choose for the sin offering first, and lie shall ring. So he shall choose for a sin offering first, and then the priest shall wring its head near to the spine, but not separate its head from the neck. And he shall sprinkle some of the blood upon the side of the altar, and pour the remainder of the blood at the foot of the altar. It is a sin offering. And the second bird he shall make a burnt sacrifice, according to the rite, with the bird which he had chosen for the sin offering, and not according to the rite for the bullock. Okay? Or the lamb, or the young goat, and the priest shall expiate him from the sin that he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. Okay? So now it tells you, if you don't have, this will take 2 birds, and the reason why it's 2 is because the birds remain whole. One for the sin offering and one for the burnt offering. Okay? But if his hand find not the sufficiency to bring 2 pigeons, 2 turtle doves, 2 birds, let him bring as an oblation for sin 1/10 of 3 sa'in of flour for a sin offering. Do you know what a tenth of a sa'in is?
No, sir.
So a sa'in is 1,000 kilos.
Okay, so signing is
It's like 100. I think it's between. I think a sa'in is 100 kilos, and a tenth of a sa'in is going to be 10 kilos. So he brings 30 kilos of flour,
okay.
somewhere around there. That's an estimate. I get down into weights and measures at another time, but this is an estimate.
Okay.
Okay? So a tenth of a sa'in of flour, but let him not put their oil thereon or frankincense, for it is a sin offering. So when you bring your flour, you're not going to ruin the flour by putting oil and frankincense in it to make it unedible to the priest. This is a sin offering. The priest has to eat it. It is their portion. You're going to give the flour straight, and the priest will make the oil and the incense and burn that from a small measure. Which is why I read that at the beginning of the chapter to set this up so that when you're bringing your flour for an offering, you bring just flour.
Verse
And the priest shall atone for his sin that he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. And the remainder shall be a mincha, bread, mincha, bread to the priest. I said that. I just said that. And Yahweh spake with Moshe, saying, when a man falsifieth with falsity and sin through with inadvertence. Okay, so when a man makes falsity and teaches a lie, speaks a lie, propagates a lie, propagandizes a lie, not knowing, right? Inadvertence. In making misuse of the holy things of Yah, he shall bring the oblation for his trespass to the presence of Yah. He shall bring. So if you truly seek in the Most High and you have his sacred things, you shall bring it first in repentance, and then bring an unblemished ram from the flock with an estimation in silver. According to the value of the holy thing which has been misappropriated in shekels, after the shekels of the sanctuary for a trespass offering.
So as they can see,
So it's according to the measurement that I have here.
yeah. And so they can see what you have said previous wasn't just something crazy.
Not fair.
It's backed by the word.
You're going to bring it back, right? And you're going to give back its value. So since the holy thing, the holy thing is made of gold. Now, watch this.
Okay.
The holy things were made of gold. Okay? And according to the weight of the measure of the sanctuary, silver has 1/10 the value of gold. Okay? 1/10 its value. So the conversion is very simple. Weigh the golden thing, the consecrated thing, weigh it, and then bring 10 times that amount in silver this is the restitution. They think the Most High's playing as I'm reading it. I know they do. They think I'm crazy, right?
16.
Right? And the misuse of the holy thing, that's the plates, the cups, the spoons, all the gold stuff that you, the Queen of England, oh no, she's dead. Most High already killed her. Okay, you, Charles, you, the king now, you, I'm talking to you. You and the Vatican and everybody else throughout Europe that got anything of ours, the crowns and the scepters and all the sacred things, we want that back plus 10 times its weight in silver, by which he sinned. The perversion of what was sanctified he shall make good, give it back, and shall add the fifth of its value unto it. So you have to give it back plus the fifth of its value. And so that's just 20% on top. So you have to give it back, the value of it in silver back, plus 20%. And bring it to the priest, and the priest will atone for you. Right? No matter what race, nothing. Right? You bring it back, you will be granted atonement. Because you didn't know this was done thousands of years ago. You don't know. You never thought this day would come. You're going to bring it here. Give it to the priest. Well, it will be given to the priest, but you're going to bring it here. It's going to come right across my desk, my office. It will be collected. Right? Bring it to the priest, who shall atone for him with the ram. You're going to bring a ram too of the trespass offering, and then it shall be forgiven you. So you're going to bring the consecrated thing. You're going to bring 10 times its weight in silver. That's its value. And then
Yes.
you're going to add 20% on top to make it good. And bring a ram, and then it's going to be atonement for you. Now, I'm making this very clear.
Yes, you are.
Right? Because the person that brings this will live when others die. Oh, they think it's a game.
Yeah, they do.
No, but I'm telling you right now, you're going to see the great death coming. You're going to see it. All of you are going to see it. Just remember, I told you, and you're going to bring it here. Because when you carry it everywhere else, thinking that you're getting away, you're going to find out you will die, and then somebody else is going to carry it. And then they're going to see this message. And then they're going to say, the only way to survive this is to give this man back his people, back their holy things, pack up this gold, pack up this silver, pack up these sheep and rams. Let's take this to them that we might live. And if a man sin and do any one of the commandments of Yah, that which is not right to do, though he knew it not, he hath sinned. Whether you know it or not, you have sinned, and you shall bear your guilt. Caveat, but when he hath discovered it, when you have been made to know, let him bring a ram unblemished from the flock, according to his estimation, for a trespass offering unto the priest, and the priest shall atone for him for the ignorance with which he erred ignorantly and sinned, and it shall be forgiven him. So for every person you bring, there's a ram for every man. Bring back the rams. Did I see where the Rams come from?
Yeah.
I know.
See it.
Now, some of you scholars is thinking about Isaiah 60. This is where it comes from. It's coming. You're going to bring it here. You're going to bring it to me. Right? And it will be so much because I'm only allowed to cook enough for all of you to eat. You're going to eat.
Mm-hmm.
And then the rest will be maintained, and that's it. We're moving along. It's going to be eaten. It is an oblation for a trespass. Whoever has become guilty of a trespass oblation, let him bring an oblation for trespass unto the name of Allah. Bismillah. The name of Yahweh. For the sin that he hath sinned. And Yahweh spake with Moses, saying, when a man sinneth and falsifieth falsehoods unto the name of the word of Yahweh. When a man sins and speaks lies unto the name of Yahweh. So that means if your book is perverted and you still teaching from it, you guilty. Y'all think I'm playing. They think the Most High is a joke.
Yeah, they do.
You're gonna think you testing me, right? Because I just get off this thing, right? And Arabia will tell you, I sit back and I just relax, eat. I may go out shopping. I don't pay no attention to nothing y'all say or do. I'm gonna tell you right now, you think you're gonna come back and you're gonna cancel me, you're gonna shut me down as if me saying it out loud in front of you doesn't count or it won't make it matter unless we hear it. No, it doesn't because it's by association. So now that this is on and available for free on the internet, the whole world is guilty. And you're going to now test Allah in that you're going to say this is not true. And now you're falsifying.
Yeah.
With falsehoods unto the name of Allah. You listening. Be you Muslim, Christian, Hindu, whatever. Jew, you. Or denieth to his neighbor the deposit which hath been deposited with him, whether in partnership of hands or by sword. So when you took the deposits in war by sword, or reckless dealings with his neighbor, you beguiled them with trickery of contract. Or if he find a thing that has been lost and denied it to return it, and sweareth falsely about any one of all these, by which a male in doing them shall become guilty. He who shall thus transgress and sin and swear shall restore that what he has robbed with robbery, or injured by injury, or the deposit that was deposited with him, or the thing lost which he had found. So whether you found it and knew who it belonged to, didn't return it, if you took it with deception, if you took it with contracts in the open and it wasn't right for you to have and you know your contracts was crooked, if you took it in repossession, hey, I'm telling you right now, if you took a thing, you took it. You know it wasn't right for you to take it. So if you operated with European business practice, so this is the whole world.
Yes.
All of it. You're guilty. Okay? Whatsoever about which he has sworn with falsehood, he shall make good in the capital. So you have to give it back, and shall add a fifth of its value thereto, and deliver it to its owner on the day that he make penance for his sin. I'll be right back.
Whew, my.
So, on the day you recognize you need to make penance for this sin, you have to restore back all that you stole.
And then add.
And put a fifth to it. So now this is the small things.
Yes.
Okay? This is the small things. The gold and the silver and bad business dealings, the payments you took with interest and this and that. Yeah. You have to give it back. Right? It says, you shall make it good in the capital. Right? This is money. This is capital. And shall add a fifth of its value thereto. So you have to give it back plus a fifth, plus 20%. And now you gave it back. This is a small thing now. We're just talking money. You have to give the money back plus 20%. And he shall bring an oblation for his trespass to the presence of Yah. So now we talking about, you remember Black Wall Street? Right? You remember the Philadelphia bombings and all the other financial things that you stole from black folks, all the bad record deals? Because you know, my father was a drifter. The Jews own the drifters.
Wow.
Now, you stole. You stole. But it's okay. You can give it back. The capital plus 20%. Right? Because this was a bad business deal. And this has not been going on, not once, not twice. This has been going on many generations up till today.
Yeah, repeatedly.
Repeatedly. As a matter of fact, all the labels are living off of the wealth that was stolen from artists in antiquity. But it's okay, because you're going to give it back. Then they'll say, well, what happens if we can't give it back? Die. It's all right. It's okay. Die. It's okay. Right? You know, die in Hebrew means stop. Right? Simply stop. Die. You can stop life. You can stop. Stop. Right? And he shall bring an oblation for his trespass to the presence of Yah, a male of the flock. So you have to bring a male of the flock, according to its estimation for the trespass. Shall he bring unto the priest, and the priest shall atone for him before Yah, and it shall be forgiven him concerning any one of these which he may have done and become guilty.
So so this, what we're reading, is the atonement and the forgiveness for the rest of the nations.
This is everybody. It's not just us. It's us.
It's for everybody.
Everybody. So is this for us? Now the Most High is saying the other nations are now guilty for also committing these things, because now his law is proclaimed in all the earth. And it must be this way exactly. Because now the Most High is coming to judge all men. And this is the judgment. You see, the children of Israel came into power and prominence because of the judgment of the Most High. That's all it's ever been. Right?
Yes.
Now everybody's had all the time to do everything they wanted and commit all the sin they wanted and all the lies and receive all the benefit of all those destructive practices. Now they believe they are gods. And I shared this today. Listen here, Mr. Schwab, WEF. Listen up. I am glad you made your announcement. I am so glad I had a chance to share it. You have divine powers. Make ready for war. You think you God. Oh, that's good. I was waiting for this. At night when you pray, I'm the devil you pray about. Enemy of Allah, I am him. I've come to tell you, here is the law, here is the judgment, that you can fight God with your divine powers against his. I can't wait to see this fight. This is the greatest heavyweight bout of all times.
Yes.
You with your bombs and your missiles and your tanks and your guns, all the money in the world, and the children of Israel, they are your foot. You step on them. But I know how to defeat Gog.
Yes.
I take this law and I strike you in the name of Yahya in the ankle. Take this little ankle tap. Let's see if you stand. And Yahya spake with Musa, saying, instruct Aaron and his sons, saying, this is the law of the burnt offering, which is brought to make atonement for the thoughts, errors of the heart. So you thought it was right, and it was wrong. This was an error in your heart. It is a burnt offering, which is made in the manner of the burnt offering at Mount Sinai. So this is the same one that was made on Mount Sinai to enter into the covenant. So now everybody in the world have an opportunity to restore and to enter into the covenant on Mount Sinai. Here is your opportunity. No, everybody wants Abraham's covenant. You want the chance to be a part, right? This is it.
How you do it.
This is how you do it. You have to put everything in its place according to the instruction. Come on, you holy righteous people, show up. Or you could wait for the instructions, because I know the Most High like hardening Pharaoh's heart. I already made a song, a dirge for you, because I know you're going to accept this punishment. You're going to ignore what I'm saying until you see the destruction and look for the answer. And then it will be too late for the most. However, there will be some that will hear.
They will see the All Shadi.
You want to see the God who destroys and repents. Okay. Because you think it's a game. I know, I'm telling you my God real, and you think my God a lie. You say the name of your God, and we have never heard that God's name before. Think about that for a second. Okay. Same one offering at Mount Sinai, and abideth upon the place of burning on the altar all the night until the morning, for the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. And the priest shall dress himself in vestments of linen, and put drawers of linen upon his flesh. That's right, priest. And you're going to wear everything that's commanded. Linen drawers. And he shall separate the ashes which the fire maketh in consuming the burnt offering upon the altar, and shall place them at the side of the altar. And he shall take off his vestments and put on other garments and carry forth the ashes without the camp into the clean place. But the fire upon the altar shall burn upon it unextinguished, and the priest shall lay wood upon it from morning to morning at 4 hours of the day, and shall set it in order, the burnt offering upon it, and burn upon it the fat of the sacred oblations, the sanctified oblations. The fire shall be ever burning upon the altar, it shall never be extinguished. All right, I'm going to stop right there. So I'm letting you know what it is. Because the fire will never be extinguished. It will be lit again, and it will never go out. The priest's going to wear the linen, and they're going to separate the ashes and take it to the clean place. They're going to change clothes. We have 5 priests. Okay. So, the priests are going to wear the linen garments with the linen drawers. They're going to separate the ashes. They're going to take it out of the camp to the clean place, which means there will be a camp of Israel again reestablished as commanded, with their standards as commanded. No, not your made up flags. I don't care what the hell y'all doing out there. It's going to be according to this book, by this book, and you will now taste the judgment. You will now see the wrath of Allah because I had to explain it to you. Now that I've explained it to you, you're all guilty. The whole world is guilty. You're all there. And I know that the children of Israel are going to be stubborn and try to keep the beliefs that they have now. But you, the nations of the world, when you see your utter destruction for what appears to be arbitrary and insane practices and ideas, and the collapse come, I know you're going to want to save yourself. There is no salvation for you until you bring back the consecrated things. That includes the consecrated people, the children, all of it. The gold, the sanctified things, the rams, the sheep, the flour, the seeds, the trees, everything. You're going to bring it back.
The real reparations.
You're going to bring it back. The silver, the gold, according to everything which I explained. So please save the video, go back, break it down yourself. Don't act like now you're not good at math. And just don't think that if you cut it short, that I'm the one measuring. You understand? If you short it, there's just no atonement for you. You die. You will die. So everybody thinks, oh, well, no, we'll do it, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you know now. So the priest, the clean place, everything is coming back. We start here, right here in Jordan. Right? Don't worry. If you don't believe me, you think I'm telling a story. It sounds cute, right? I don't sound like your regular pastor. I don't sound like the pastor. Ebobo, he coming on a... No, all of them getting ready to die. Right? And everybody who believes with them will die with them. And that's fine. I don't care. Right? So this is going to happen. The vestments and everything. So the Levites are going to come back. They're going to first learn this. Right? We're going to build. We're going to grow. We're going to reestablish everything. And then they're going to start the atonement process. First for themselves, then for the rulers of Israel, then for the people of Israel, and then we're going to buy back our land and continue. It will be. It will.
It will. It shall be.
It will be. Amen. It will be. So when this happens, you cannot say that you were surprised. So this is going to happen. It will happen just like this, right? Because this is the law. This is the law of trespass. We'll be back tomorrow. One step, one step.
One step.